Okay, let's take a few minutes here to look at your essay for the post-test and discuss the outline so we can help to keep you organized, make sure that you're writing effectively, and just overall help to ease a little bit of the concern because I know that it can be overwhelming seeing an essay that seems very complicated. To start off, here is the question. It states, after examining the French and Indian War and the disagreements over taxes that followed, explain why mercantilism was only effective in the short term and did not work in America in the long term. Provide specific details related to the causes for the French and Indian War, the disagreements that followed, and ideas that extend into the future even beyond the American Revolution. Now to start off, the beginning right there is just kind of like an introduction, so we can cross that out and take that out of your concerns here. Next, it says explain why mercantilism was only effective in the short term and did not work in America in the long term. What is this really stating? Well, the first thing that we need to do is break this down into pieces. And we need to say, okay, what is mercantilism? So that's the first thing you should do in your essay. Explain what it is. Next, we're going to look at this whole part here about short term versus long term. So it works in the short term, but it doesn't work in the long term. Now, how are we going to prove that? Well, that's the next portion, where we now compare this and provide specific details related to the causes for the French and Indian War. So when we look at the French and Indian War, what are the causes of it? How does that show that mercantilism is not being ultra effective right now? And this kind of connects to rivalry. And the one thing I want you to be thinking about the entire time that you are doing this, and I'm even going to make this as clear as I possibly can for you here. Let's put a little bit of green right here. And let's say we're talking about money and how money equals power to these countries that are trying to colonize. And I'm sorry, that's a terrible looking money sign. Give me a break though. Okay, so in other words, how is it that the French and Indian War is really not going to provide a lot of financial gain for Britain? We can start with that, and then we can move on beyond that to the disagreements that followed, and think about these. We can talk about Pontiac's War as it led to the Proclamation Line of 1763, and then also into all of the taxes that occurred and all of the complaints about taxes. Did the Boston Massacre, or how about this, did the Quartering Act, did that lead to better relations, and did that lead to Britain making money? Did things like the Intolerable Acts lead to Britain making money? Did the Stamp Act and Sugar Act lead to Britain making money? Or were the rebellions so great that it actually didn't really help Britain as much as they wanted to? So that's really what we're looking at for that section. And then finally, the future. This one's a little bit tricky. I'm not expecting everybody to have a lot for this or even to have anything at all. But if you can think of reasons that we can prove that this really was not beneficial for Britain in the future, that would be good as well. Now, here are the steps we need to look at again, as usual. You must have a topic sentence. Remember, this essay will be graded both for style and content. So it's not just the content this time, the style is included. So that's organization, that's topic and concluding sentences, spelling and grammar as well. So topic sentence, that's first. Then, what is mercantilism, and what are the specific principles included in it? Then, let's connect mercantilism to the French and Indian War. Explain how it doesn't work, how they don't really work together. Remember that whole aspect of money. How is it that the French and Indian War really isn't helping this, even though that's kind of the cause? Again, we're going to connect this to the lead up to the Revolution now. Taxes. Were the taxes really benefiting them? Were the boycotts benefiting Britain? The Native American issues? And then ultimately the Revolutionary War, which we're going to talk about, which I'm sure you can imagine is very expensive too. And then you must have a concluding sentence to end our essay. So there are the steps that we're looking at here for your essay. If you have any questions, please send me an email. And that's all. Good luck.